Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on 539. Well, actually, it is, I believe, part 4 now to the Cedar Creek Cemetery series here in Indiana, up in the northeastern section of the state here. And we are heading back into the historic section to check out some of the stuff that I didn't get to last time. And yeah, see what other interesting things that we can find here. And right now we're just coming up on this little retaining wall here, which again, I believe signifies an historic entryway here. As you can see, it does look like since then they have actually, obviously, as you can see, sealed it off, but it looks like these right here, these plots were actually in what used to be the middle of the road. So I would assume that they took all the whatever pavement they had and put it somewhere and sold it off as plots. You can see that all these, it looks like all of them are from the 70s. And so it must have, except for obviously this one here. You can see that Robert did not pass until recently. I'm not sure if I don't think there's anything really over in these corners. I'm pretty sure I checked last time. It is interesting to see the decay and everything. There is a private residential property next door here, so I'm going to try my best not to be filming over there. Alright, yeah, it doesn't look like there's much over here. That's kind of sad. Every piece of the identification has fallen out of the little free marker. Now at this place I am fairly certain that all the records are maintained actually in the church across the street here. I know that we looked at this before, but I just wanted to check real quick to see if there was anything left from maybe like the original gate. Obviously, the fence that we saw last time is still there. But usually, you can see like signs of where it was attached to the rock, where it was closable. But I'm not really sure that that's the case now. If it's in there, it's pretty well covered. This side's a little bit more clear. And again, no signs of a gate. Not really, it almost looks tiered, like it was steps that people could walk up, maybe. So, pretty interesting. I'm not really sure if that's true or not. Who knows? I might be able to find some historic documents or something that might tell us a little bit more. Now I'm going to have to remember where we left off. I know that we were here. Had to check some of the plant life. Been finding some really interesting plant life here recently. I mean, not exactly at this location, but in this area. Some Indiana succulents. And I apologize if we get anything twice here, because once again, as I said, I'm not precisely sure. I didn't look at the video right before I left like I probably should have. Those look like 1876 there. Is that the Bell family? Let's see. Jacob Bell, 1863, and Jane Bell, daughter of James and Margaret, of November 8th, 1869. And quite a few bells over here. You see, here is Margaret here. So it's interesting that you can actually see the, I mean, obviously, but it's just historically kind of interesting that, you know, you can see the graves that they're actually referencing on other headstones here. Looks like 18, surely that's not right. Is that 1829? Let's see, is that probably 18, see, this is 1863. Maybe that's 1869. And although it's really hard to read in person, I think I might be able to get an accurate, well, not translation, read of that inscription there once I make it back and start editing. And there's Sarah Bell, another daughter of James and Margaret, from 1849. And it looks like you can see at the bottom something P.S. Underhill, which I think is the stone manufacturer. Okay, it looks like we are out of the bell section now. I do believe that we took a look last time at this Woodman of the World marker here. We'll go ahead and take one more quick glance and then start heading forward here. It's so interesting that over time these really do start to blend in with the nature around them, especially as they get the lichen growth and discoloration from rain and dirt and other plant life. And obviously you can see this, well, maybe you can, maybe you can't, has a lot of spider webs on it. And another pretty historic one, 1880, Mary R. Let's see if we can get the last name here. It's a John V. Keepall? Kirall? I think it's Kirall. Oh, here we go. Kieran, okay. It looked like two L's, but it's actually an N. And here's another interesting little detail that they added in. It's some honeycomb, as if bees have been making a little hive out of the bottom section of the tree here. So very interesting. I think it looks like John passed 1888. I did find out something new about lichen. It's not actually a life form. It is a combination of different life forms that are symbiotic to each other. believe it is a form of a fungus and an algae, or I think several fungus and an algae, something like that. And neither one can survive without the other. One provides energy from the sun, and the other one provides moisture. Yeah, so this one doesn't look very readable. It looks like it says infant. I'm not really sure though. Appears to say Owen at the top. I'm not 100% on that. I'm not. Oh wow, looks like we might get a storm here pretty soon. I might not have too much longer to film here today. That's more west. And this, I see 1861. It's just very hard. And 1881 on it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on those clouds there. So here's another one. It looks like this is a design choice. Unless there just was a lot of mistakes back then, but I don't think so. It looks like the idea of having the name, first name at the top left, and then having the last name sort of come in from underneath was kind of a popular idea back then. Looks like 1840 to 1886. Elmina Schremer? I'm not really sure 100%. And then this one has some interesting coloring on it. See sort of a reddish, rustish, rust-like color on there. And I think that actually is a lichen, or maybe not a lichen, but maybe a moss growth that has died off or something. I'm not 100% on that. You can see children of something Walter. And I see Mary. I can't really tell much else. I'm going to have to see if I can get a clear read during editing maybe on that one as well. You see Ida E on the back here. It looks like 1863. And I think that's it. And if we turn around, here is another tree that has grown up around the old fencing here. And kind of interesting that this one actually has just been lucky enough to have had its various sections go around the tree and not be affected too much by it, so that's good. Usually I find them growing literally the main section of the trunk around it, like it's literally just absorbed it all, and I don't know what happens on the inside. I don't think it actually really decays a lot away, because I've seen chains in trees that have lasted for a long time too. And the storm system is moving in faster than what I thought. I think so far we have a decent sized episode, but we may have to leave here pretty soon. We're getting closer and closer to the main intersection here. Looks like 1916. Things seem to be getting a little bit newer actually as we're approaching the church. So it seems as if, and you can see another example of what I was talking about here, the tree is actually affected. Its growth pattern is changed by the fence itself. And another one here has been cut down at some point. And you can see really the only thing that it did to the fencing was bent it a little bit over time. I don't know. The storm might just pass by. It looks like 1862 there. Very badly damaged stone, unfortunately. Definitely needs some maintenance work, and you can see that this area has been worked on before. You know, it's tell that the stone here has been not replaced, but placed back on its original, not really base, but together with its original half, I should say. So they have worked on this before. Yeah, it looks like maybe the storm's just going to miss us. We have a people? Is it a people? Looks like. It's an interesting last name. 1860 something. Looks like 64 maybe. So many of these are almost impossible to read. And again, they may be actually easier back at the command center and not here in person, so I can usually get better contrast. You can see the top section of this is actually broken away. I'm pretty sure it's right here, so it's kind of interesting. And the dates seem to be fairly clear here. Born 1849 and passed 1888. And I can't see the last name very well. Looks like D-E-L-C something or D-E-L-O. I'm not 100% on that. Alright, let's continue here. Yeah, it looks like maybe the storm's actually headed this direction and might miss us altogether. It does look like it's raining though. Looks like we have Mary A. It's interesting that they don't always choose to use the last name on the spouse's side, which obviously on the personal stones they are. But on, well, actually that's not, okay, I have to correct myself. This is Barbara Moody over here, and Mary A here. I don't know if that's, says wife of J.R. Moody, so John here. And so maybe, and it's really difficult to get ages, but I would guess that Barbara is probably the daughter. So, and a very clear veterans marker up here. Pointed the wrong way, but it is pretty cemented in. You can see from this side it is a GAR marker, so more than likely a veteran of the Civil War. Well, I shouldn't say more than likely, definitely a veteran of the Civil War here. And you can see that the VA has been out leaving flags, or someone has been. Sometimes they actually leave little, not plaques, but little signs that say that they were out here and who left the flags, but I don't see one around here. So I'm just kind of assuming there. It looks like 1877, so at 65 years, so definitely survived the Civil War and lived, looks like, wow, that's kind of interesting. So they were in, looks like they were in their 50s when they fought. There's just so many historic stones here. It's impossible to see every single one, and so many of them are just impossible to tell what exactly they say. This one, I can see the Elizabeth. I can't really tell any names. You can see the hand pointing to heaven. They're a pretty popular symbol from the time, especially to use on headstones. Honestly, I think it's probably the only thing it was really popular for. I don't recall any other historic usage of those symbols. And this was probably another section of the historic road here. You can tell by the shape.